Hello everyone and welcome back. We're back. Impact reviews are back officially. We're on the go, we're on the move, we're getting them going. Excuse the hair, I'm not long out the shower. But we'll crack on with it. Impact it's going well. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. We don't have Ali Shelley though. We're about to lose someone and we'll get to that. But overall, I've really been enjoying Impact, and I'm really excited to see where they go in 2021 with the eventual return of fans, which will hopefully be next year. It's just kind of hard to tell, especially with America being on fire, especially as well with TJP continuing to come back to close set tapings. I understand he's a big draw, and I like watching him wrestle. But one, he thinks he's better than Eddie Guerrero. And two, he doesn't believe in COVID, so. But Impact last night opened with Caleb with a K, Tenille Dashwood's personal photographer, and a professional wrestler, Caleb Conley, who used to be there. Was Caleb Conley ever in Impact? Caleb Conley was Suicide in Impact. John Gresham played him in 2016. And Gresham was shorter than Kazarian and Daniels and Kiyoshi and TJP and Caleb Conley, but we'll move on from that. I want to see if he's actually ever been in a pro wrestling career. He's been with Impact since 2016. I had it in my mind that he was part of the Helms dynasty, Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett. I thought it was Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley, but he's not. It's Andrew Everett. Total sidetrack. So Caleb Conley, Caleb with a K, opened the show in the ring. And he introduced Tenille Dashwood, who came out and they took the photos and they did all the good stuff. And their tag team partner came out, and it was Madison Rayne. Obviously, that was set up, I think, last week on Locker Room Talk. And they were taking on the team of Havoc and Nevaeh. And this match was good, it was fun. Madison Rayne started, was, sort of out there, going sort of hold for hold with Nevaeh, but eventually tagged out to Tenille. There was a long stand and switch battle for like 40 seconds. It was really fun, and then Tenille just tripped the leg. But then when Big Havoc came in, Havoc sort of cleared house. Tenille tagged out to Madison Rayne, who looked horrendously out of her depth against Havoc. And eventually Havoc and Nevaeh got the win. So it does not look like Madison Rayne and Tenille Dashwood will be teaming in the Knockouts Tag Team Championship tournament. We found out at the start of the next match that the reason that Madison Rayne was so distracted is she was worried that Josh Matthews was messing up commentary, doing it all on his own. This was a fun way to open the show, and it's building more hype for this tag title tournament. You've got so many established teams, and then when you do get the fun throwing together ones, it will, the dynamic of those matches are going to be a lot more interesting than, if they just. I'm not saying that the Knockouts Tag Division's weak. Obviously, you've got a lot of friendships and a lot of alliances, but when you get the people like some will come to later, it is good to see the sort of dynamic that all pose in ring, and if it leads to either a makeshift team winning the titles or a feud, which I would be okay with either for something two people will talk about later on. Next, the Good Brothers were being interviewed about wrestling the North, and they just they called Gia a good sister, and they did all the stuff. Then Ethan Page walked in, made fun of them, slapped Karl Anderson, who slapped him back, and then Ethan Page walked away with his tail between his legs. And yeah, it was fun, it was fine. It's just a standard sort of Good Brothers promo, standard Ethan Page being a wee dick. And it's building hype for Turning Point this Saturday, which I'm excited for. We then got the first segment of the night of Tommy Dreamer interviewing all the suspects in the case of Who Shot Johnny Bravo. And he had Larry D up on a lie detector. But Larry D passed the lie detector. So then Cody Deaner came in next. And Cody Deaner seemed angry. And Dreamer pointed out, you're an angry man. You lost last week to Johnny Swinger because of the ref, who's also a suspect. You said that you would like to kill Bravo because he was being Groomzilla. You're angry with your cousin, you're angry with Swinger, you're angry with a lot of people. You've got motive. And then they sort of argued, and it was the first of many lie detector segments with Tommy Dreamer dressed as Sherlock Holmes. I'm really enjoying this story, as you can tell. And I'm excited for the payoff, whatever it may be. We then had the X Division Championship match between Rohit and TJP. And if TJP lost, he can't challenge for the title. as long as Rohit has it. Match started, they brawled before the bell, brawled back into the ring. But TJP was the aggressor early on and was able to take control for a lot of the early stages of the match, just outworking him technically and with like strikes, more like calculated strikes. But any chance Rohit got, he would just bring it in close, bring it into brawl, no kicks, just being vicious, like a little pit bull is the best way I can describe him. He was doing his best Paul Robinson impression, I guess you could say. But TJP was able to keep, bringing it very good back and forth between the pair of them, and a very good contrast to styles. Right towards the end of the match, after a match I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was, Rohit grabs the belt, which distracts the ref, and as the ref's back's turned, TJP comes in and grabs a waist lock, and he just gets kicked right in his balls. And Rohit then runs with a running knee, takes him out, and Rohit is still the champ, and TJP is out of the X Division title picture for as long as Rohit is champ. And hopefully this doesn't mean put him up into the main event scene. Just have him wander aimlessly for a bit. Please. I'm fed up. That's not to say that TJP is not a good wrestler, it's just all the problems I have with TJP I've documented almost every Wednesday morning, talking about his attitude and just the way that he thinks he's better than everyone, and the fact that he is anti-vax and anti-mask, and it's a danger to have him at these close set tapings. But whatever. I'm not angry, I promise. I'm just it just winds me up a little bit. Anyway, we'll move on, because I could talk about TJP all day for probably the wrong reasons, but it's whatever. The next segment, we've got another lie detector segment. So Falaba stood outside the lie detector room and checks his pocket, and he's got the wad of cash. He cash it and he puts it back into his pocket. And then Hernandez walks out the lie detector room, and they have a little war of words. They have a little, Hernandez like, I think you shot Bravo because you told me that Bravo had my money, and if I'd have got to Bravo, he would have told me that you are the one that has my roll of money. And then at this point, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz come in and chase Hernandez off. And they're like, yep, Fala, we're friends, we got you, we're Gucci. And Fala turns around and talks to Kiera Hogan, and as he's not looking, Tasha Steelz just takes the money, just steals the money out of his pocket and replaces it with a roll of electrical tape. And then they run away and Fala goes in for his lie detector. Just dumb fun. This story's great. I'm really excited to see wherever it pays off. I don't have any idea who it might be, but someone does, and we'll find that out later. After that, we then go to the treehouse. The Rascals are in the treehouse for the first time in a while. And there was a letter for them waiting in the treehouse. Des opens it up and he goes, guys, we got convicted. And then Wentz goes, nah, we didn't get convicted. It's not. I didn't shoot Bravo. And Trey takes it off him, and Trey looks at it and goes, guys, we're getting evicted. Evicted, not convicted. Evicted. It says here we haven't paid rent in 2 years. And then Trey goes, a fucking tree. But with them being evicted from the treehouse, that then, in the in-universe means that the Rascals have to leave Impact. And they've got 1 week. So next week is the end of the Rascals run in Impact, which is a shame because they've never held those tag titles. They are tailor-made for those tag titles. They're tailor-made for a long feud with the Motorcycle Machine Guns. I like the North. I really do like the North. But obviously the Lucha Bros left Impact and dropped the titles to LAX in that Full Metal Mayhem match in the start of 2019. Might have been Hard Kill. No, Hard Kill was this year. Retribution? I don't remember. Then LAX, Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, also were leaving Impact. And they were about to wrestle the Rascals on pay-per-view. But it's not the front office clearly didn't have the faith in the Rascals to carry the tag division at that time, so added the North to the match so then the North could win. And they never held those tag titles, and it makes me really sad because they're great. But next week we will see the end of the Rascals in Impact, and I'll probably make a video talking about ranking all the places that they could possibly go. And yeah, I really like them, and it's sad to see them go. then got a singles match after that with Chris Sabin wrestling Big AC Romero in that match that was set up for when Triple XL jumped Alex Shelley. And this match was fine. AC's great, Sabin's great. But it was more to set up an angle later on in the night. Just Sabin fighting from under because AC's huge for the majority of the match. Every time he was able to create some space, Larry D would get involved. Eventually created enough space, took out Larry D, and then took out AC with like a running, like Shining Wizard Enziguri thing, then just a standing Enziguri, and then another like running Shining Wizard kind of Enziguri move, and put him away. But then Triple XL jumped him after the bell, and just beat on my poor boy. After that, then we had another singles match, probably match of the night, and it was Chris Bay. I'm off. We got a backstage segment setting up what I think is match of the night. Chris Bay was backstage and Sami Callihan walked over and they had a little conversation. And Sami Callihan sort of tried to, manipulate him, but Chris Bay was like, look, I'm the ultimate finesser. You can't finesse me. But if you want to work with me, if you want to tell me that you want to work with me, I'm open to working with you. So then they were like, oh, I've got a little idea. And then the camera fades out. We go back to Tommy Dreamer's lie detector room after that, and Father James Mitchell is there. The bad man, the bad bastard that he is. And he hooks himself up to the lie detector. And Tommy's saying, you've always been straight with me. I know you're saying you didn't shoot Bravo, but the lie detector is detecting deception. And Father James goes, look, deception is in my makeup, it's who I am, but I didn't do it. But listen to me. And then he starts talking to him. And then it ends. Then it fades out. And then we go to Chris Bay versus Eddie Edwards. And a fantastic match that I want to see more. Chris Bay is absolutely incredible. One thing in this match they pointed out, they mentioned the Super J Cup, which Chris Bay will be in. I kind of hope wins. I kind of hope he wins. Also, on the Super J Cup announcement, they announced TJP as a free agent. So I don't know what that's about. But anyway, hopefully Chris Bay wins Super J Cup because he's one of my favourite wrestlers in the world right now. And this match was great, obviously. Eddie Edwards, is a very athletic man, used to be quite a bit of a high flyer. So was able to match Bay, not every time at the speed game, but quite often. But Bay was obviously no match for Eddie striking, and he had to work on being more thrifty and cunning than him. Eventually, Eddie Edwards picked up the win as Chris Bay went for the springboard cutter as he just caught him at midair and rolled him up for the win. But after the bell, Sami Callihan ran out and just jumped Eddie Edwards. And then Rich Swann came out to even up the odds. And then Ken Shamrock came out. And as Swann and Edwards were fighting off Callihan and Shamrock, in comes Chris Bay with a chair, just swings at both of them. And then Sami Callihan then sets the chair up over Rich Swann's face and grabs a baseball bat, looking like he was going to do to Rich Swann what he did to Eddie Edwards, which obviously when he missed it nearly made Eddie Edwards lose an eye in 2017. But then the Rascals ran out to make the save. Zachary went in an AJ Gray dick butt shirt, which I really enjoyed. And the Rascals are proving that, if they're going out, they're not going out without a fight. And they stood their ground and chased the heels out the ring and helped up the world champion and Eddie Edwards. After the match, Caleb with a K and Tenille Dashwood are backstage. Yeah. After the match, then Caleb with a K and Tenille Dashwood are backstage, and they're looking for someone. And it appears they find her, and Caleb goes, "Go on, ask her." And then Tenille goes, "Nah, Caleb, it's your job. You're my assistant." So Caleb walks over, and it's Jordan Grace. He goes, "Hey, Jordan. We were wondering if, maybe you would like, you still have a partner for that tag team tournament starting next week. Maybe you would want to be in that tournament." And Jordan Grace goes, "If Tenille wants me to be her partner, she's got to ask me." So then it goes over to Tenille and she's just like a kid, just pure stroppy, like. And Jordan goes, "Come on, ask me." And she goes, "Okay, yes or no?" She goes, "Yes or no what?" She goes, "Do you want to be my partner for the tag? Do you want to be a part of the tag tournament?" She's like, "What?" She's like, "Fine. Do you want to be my partner in the tag tournament?" And Jordan Grace says, "Look, I don't know if I'm ready to commit to the tag tournament just yet, but we've got Turning Point on Sunday, so why don't we team then? And let's see if I can trust you for a whole tournament." So on Turning Point, on Saturday, I think I said Sunday there, but on Saturday, we are getting Rosemary and Taya versus Jordan Grace and Tenille Dashwood. 4 of the best in that company. 4 of the best, without a doubt. And I don't mean in the women's division or the knockouts division, I just mean 4 of the best. And I'm very excited for that match. We then go backstage to another part of the arena, and the Rascals are just hanging out, and then Rich Swann walks over and goes, hey, I heard you guys are leaving, but how about we go out in style? Next week, we got Rich Swann and Trey Miguel versus Desmond Wentz. And then Trey goes, yeah, I'm over here because I got my last name. And then they start chanting team last name. And then Wentz goes, I got my last name, just don't got my first name. And then they have a little hug and they're like, nah, we got one name between us, it's cool. And they just are fanning about. But next week, yeah, Rich Swann and Trey versus Desmond Wentz. That's going to be spectacular. Some more promos now. We had just more backstagey stuff. Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly were being interviewed by Gia. And she was being asked about her match with Su Yung, which will be like a no disqualification match, which is apparently the first of Deonna Purrazzo's career. And she said, you know, I'm nervous, but I know I'm better than her. With anything goes, there's nothing that I can't do. So I'm going to win back my Knockouts Championship. And then Su Young's music hits and plays. And the lights go out and they come back and Kimberly's missing. So she was looking for her, and then on a window they find like, I think you're alone now written, as then Kimberly is thrown into the other side of the window, all horror movie style. And I'm so excited for this match on Saturday. Speaking of spooky people, we finally return to Father James and Tommy Dreamer. Father James actually has been talking to Tommy Dreamer, and Dreamer's like, look, and I respect that you've always, you know, been straight with me and you've never bullshitted me, but I just can't go throwing around accusations because you think they might have done it. If you can get proof that they shot Bravo, let me know. Send in the next person. Then Havoc comes in, and Tommy is grilling Havoc. Havoc's saying, you're angry at Rosemary, aren't you? It's like, yep. She goes, you're angry that she made you bring Father James back from the dead. Angry enough to kill her husband. And they go back and forth. But Havoc maintains her innocence and tells Tommy that he should really speak to Rosemary. And he won't speak to Rosemary because she's got a match at Turning Point, but he will speak to her next week on Impact. Sadly, that is the end of the Tommy Dreamer lie detector for this week. Overall, I'd really enjoyed the stuff that's been going on, and just Tommy Dreamer dressed as Sherlock Holmes will never not make me laugh, especially knowing that he's got that Road Warriors haircut underneath it. Then in our semi-main event, Reno Scum took on Crazy Steve and Fallah Bahh in a really fun match. But Reno Scum picked up the win quite handily. They were trying to say that there was a lot of dissension and unease between Fallah Bahh and Crazy Steve because they're not sure who shot Bravo. They couldn't really get on the same page, and after like 5 or 6 minutes, Reno Scum were able to pick up the win, and I believe over Fallah Bahh. Yeah, it was. Because Big Luster, the legend, threw Crazy Steve into the ring post really hard on the outside, and it looked horrible. But yeah, this match was fun. I like that Reno Scum are getting TV time, because I really like them, and I also like that they're just keeping mentioning and making the relationships between people in the ring, even though not like totally like at the forefront that there's unease over the Bravo stuff, letting them know that's the reason why someone like Fallah Bahh and Crazy Steve are a little bit off their game in this match. Then Chris Sabin was backstage, he's talking to someone off camera, saying, look, no one knows tag team wrestling quite like you do. I need help while Alex is out to help me fight off Reno Scum. Pans out, it's James Storm. James Storm and Chris Sabin are drinking beers together, having a great time, and this just fills my little heart with joy. I love them both. And it looks like we're probably going to tag match next week on Impact with the two of them, and that'll be fantastic. Before the main event, we had one final segment. Willie Mack was backstage being looked over by a doctor, and the doctor says to him, look, Willie, you know, you do have a bruised larynx, it's not great, but you can wrestle if you want, so you're cleared to wrestle at Turning Point. And at that point, Moose comes out of nowhere and jumps Willie Mack. But he's not able to get the upper hand as Willie Mack comes up, fights back, fights him off, and then throws him against the wall. I found this a bit weird, because Willie Mack didn't then like put him through the table or just take him out. He just threw him against the wall and was like, see you on Saturday, and then walked away, and Moose did nothing, which is weird. I know it was meant to like sow more intrigue for this, but it missed. It really did miss this segment, I thought. But the match will be good. The match will be fantastic, and that's really all we can ask for. And then finally, the main event of the evening, Josh Alexander versus Karl Anderson. And this match was great. This match was so good. Like, Josh Alexander, one of the best. Karl Anderson, one of the best. Big LG and Ethan Page on the outside, also two of the best in the world. I'm so excited for this tag title match. One thing throughout it, the commentators kept saying, obviously, Doc got the win over Ethan Page. So if the Machine Gun's able to get this win over Josh Alexander, the challengers will go in to Turning Point 2-0. And I think because of that, as much as they kept harping on about that, no one was ever really able to get an upper hand. There was a good bit where Ethan Page got involved and Josh Alexander took out Karl Anderson. They went to the outside, and Josh Alexander was beating up Karl Anderson. Ethan Page just walked over with his tag title with the camera on and just stood and looked at the camera as like Karl Anderson's being beat up, with just smiling, being a dick. It's great, but overall, no one really was able to get the upper hand, and eventually Ethan Page ran in the ring, and the big man ran in the ring, and it just ended in a no contest. And the show went off there with the four of them brawling. A big pull-apart brawl with management and security. Overall, I thought the show was, in comparison to other like more recent episodes, a bit weak. I'd give it a 7. Obviously, like I said, that Moose and Willie Mack segment fell really flat for me. I did do a lot to build the intrigue to a lot of stuff, but I thought this was, even by Impact standards, very light on the wrestling for setting up. Turning Point, there's some matches that could have done with more setting up, like Sean Devari's wrestling Eddie Edwards for some reason. I'm excited because Sean Devari's great, and so is Eddie Edwards, but never really explained why. The highlight was obviously the Tommy stuff running through the night and the Chris Bay match. The Reno's Cup match was fun, and I do think it served its purpose, but I don't think the show ultimately would have suffered a lot without having it. So overall, it's a bit of a mixed bag of an episode. Hopefully Turning Point is as good as it looks, and hopefully we'll be back on track next week. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, share it around to all your friends who like wrestling. I will be making more rambling in my rooms very soon. If you have any topics for stuff you would like to see me ramble on about, you know, where to leave them. Hopefully podcasts will be coming back soon. Just all depends on how my access to my college and my college facilities. But hopefully there will be some stuff in the works very soon. And if that's happening, I'll let you know. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.